I want to talk about what I like to call security theater. This is where we have security that looks strong from the outside, but it's never been pressure tested from the inside. Security theater isn't fake security, more so it's when all the dashboards are green and the policies are well documented and the tools are all deployed, but no one is sure what would actually happen during a real attack. Now, this isn't a discussion about shaming security programs. We all know that good cybersecurity is really, really hard. This is a conversation about protecting programs from drift. So, here are some signs that your security program might be sliding into theater. If your reporting is focusing on things like the number of alerts that we've generated, or the percentage of patches we've applied, or how well your policies have been written, or how many tools you've deployed, but it's not taking a look at things like mean time to contain an incident, lateral movement being prevented, privileged access that's been reduced, and how much data exposure that's been eliminated. You're measuring motion, not impact. Security theater tracks volume, while mature programs track outcomes. So if you can't explain how a control reduces risk, it might as well be stage lighting. So I have a question. When was the last time you've actually tested things like your EDR containment capabilities, your MFA enforcement and utilization, your backup restoration process, or how current your network segmentation boundaries are? And I'm not talking about assumed answers here, but actual tested answers. In today's business world, controls can decay and exceptions will start to pile up and permissions drift. So if your program is relying on, we deployed that last year, you're betting on static systems in a dynamic environment. Theater trusts the installation, but resilience requires validation. To all the CISOs out there, I recommend that you take three of your leaders and ask them the following questions. Who owns the response to, and you can insert any type of attack here? Who has authority to isolate systems, and is any of this automated? Who's responsible to inform legal, public relations, or even the board of directors? And how fast must containment happen before we are in serious trouble? Now, if the answers to these questions vary, you have theater. The ultimate validation of a security program isn't the prevention stack, it's clarity under pressure and the speed at which you can respond. If the response is ambiguous, the program isn't hardened, it's hopeful. And while hope springs eternal, it doesn't stop attackers. If security maturity in your organization is described as we have X number of tools, you're simply speaking in marketing language. The attackers don't care how many or even what logos are in your stack. They care about how easily they can chain weaknesses together. Now, theater programs, they like to collect props. Sometimes they are props that never get used, and sometimes they're props that were used years ago and now have been completely forgotten about. And sometimes these are props that are only half painted and still aren't nailed together. Our security portfolios tend to look the exact same way. Without modernization and full utilization of your security stack, you don't have a security program, you simply have props. More tools without orchestration isn't strength, it's complexity disguised as protection. Offensive testing is honestly one of the most important things that you can do for testing your security. And certainly, pen testing is a popular service that many organizations utilize. However, if offensive testing is something that is done once a year and treated like a checkbox and then buried in a report and not tied to measurable improvement, it's simply theater. Offensive security should change behavior, not just produce findings. So, if red team results don't alter controls or budgets or workflows, then you didn't test security, you merely staged it. And here's my final thoughts. Security theater isn't about incompetence, it's about drift. Programs can drift when reporting becomes routine and isn't read or even looked at. Your controls aren't constantly being challenged, and testing becomes nothing more than a recurring ceremony done once a year, and the success of your security posture is assumed. The most dangerous security posture, in my mind, isn't weak security, it's confident security that hasn't been tested. Now, the goal isn't to eliminate security theater overnight. That's something no one is going to be able to accomplish. Instead, the goal should be to ask one honest question in the office. If we were attacked tomorrow, what would actually stop it? And then validate the answer and validate the answer again. Because real security isn't loud, it's proven. And then it's proven again.